In 2012, the business advisor model is facing significant regulatory change, testing the sustainability of the financial advice industry. In this series, we have been following 3 financial advisors' attempts to navigate these changes, capitalise on the new environment, while creating plans to grow their own businesses. When we last saw Chris Brown, he was considering selling off a book of clients in order to grow his business.
So I think that this step to sell this particular parcel of clients will only make the business more efficient and will see us grow into the future.
After enduring a marathon journey seeking out Australia's top business experts, we'll follow Chris as he faces 2 of the industry giants to reveal what he has decided to do.
I'm looking at the risk involved, because if you lose all your money, then it's all gone. It doesn't matter what the upside is. So you've got to get the risk reward in balance, and you've got to understand the risks.
I don't care who you are in this world. If you think it's a 100% perfect world, you're kidding yourself, and so the idea is to eliminate as much risk out of anything that you can. Will that give you an absolute guaranteed result? No, it won't.
The verdict on his choices and his new business plans will be handed down on Judgment Day by Australia's brightest financial minds. And for this series, we're introducing new judge, Matt England from BT Advice.
I'm Matt England. I'm the head of the dealer group business for BT Advice.
Welcome to No More Practice, Series 3. Two of the industry's biggest names and biggest personalities are uniting together to help our 3 advisors cross the finish line and finalise their new business model. Barry Lambert is Executive Chairman and founder of Australia's largest account-driven financial advisory firm. It recently sold to Commonwealth Bank for a lot of money. Robbie Bennett is an industry legend, famous for his entrepreneurial spirit. As CEO of Professional Investment Services, he guided the company to become the largest financial planning group in Australia.
Well, Robbie's always a challenge. You never know with Robbie. I'm one of those straight up and down sort of people, but Robbie's he's an exciting sort of character. He's always been that way. Everybody loves him.
Look, having Barry and Robbie in a room at one time is the ultimate for a small business owner, because they've got a wealth of experience and they're going to tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong.
What's it going to be like, Robbie and Barry working together? If that's not dynamic, nothing in this industry will be.
Robbie, need your help?
Robbie was Chris's mentor and attempted to help him clarify his goals and what he was offering for sale.
I think the best thing that Robbie said to me at the start was, know the numbers. He came to me and he said, so what does the business look like? And I was a little bit fluffy. I said, it kind of looks like this. But he just said, you've got to be completely and utterly precise, because at the end of the day, $100,000 worth of revenue equates to an asset that's worth, potentially $300,000. So we've gone from being really fluffy to knowing that stuff inside and out. So for me, it gives me a lot of confidence, because I actually want to hand over an asset that is really solid and understood by the new buyer, just so they have a great experience.
Again, I think you've got to establish first is what your business looks like and what it's really worth.
I haven't had an accountant come in and do a professional valuation, but nonetheless, I look at a 3 to 3.5 multiple as a fair purchase price. So that's my expectation at this stage.
So if you've got 10 million producing 60,000, you're saying somewhere around about that $200,000 in round dollar terms.
Correct.
And with the life insurance book, you said it's around about a $300,000.
Yep.
Book, so
400,000.
Your renewals on that 40,000.
Correct.
So it's about 40,000, and again you're saying around about 3 times.
Yep.
So you're probably 120,000 there. So we're talking $300,000 to $350,000 for this part of your business.
Correct. I think the key things that I've got from this brief conversation is getting absolute clarity around the numbers. I think I was shooting from the hip a little bit when you were asking me those sorts of things.
So where is Chris up to now, and how is he feeling about his journey so far?
To be perfectly honest, it's been a complete roller coaster. You know, I've gone from wanting to sell it, that was it, to having a teleconference with Robbie and sort of saying, mate, it's not on anymore, I don't want to do it, to then re-engaging in the process, finding a suitable buyer and wanting to sell them again. So it's been a great journey. I've met some amazing people, I've got some sensational advice, and I'm glad that I've gone through it, and I think I'm more competent as a result.
It's now time for Chris to reveal his choices to mentors Barry and Robbie.
So I'm actually excited, a little bit apprehensive, because I'm sure that he'll have some advice and he'll challenge me, and you know, I kind of love and hate being challenged, and no doubt that they'll undo a few strings and I'll have to do them back up again.
Okay, Barry, well, we have Chris sitting over here, and I had the pleasure of meeting Chris a while ago, and very ambitious, and I use that word young compared to ourselves, I guess. It's been an interesting journey listening to Chris, and I'll be waiting for Judgment Day to see how he finishes up, actually. So we might see if Chris can tell us a bit about his story as well.
Well, to me, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So let's hear from Chris.
Look, when I first met Robbie, I'd met with my board of advice, and we came to the conclusion that we had some clients in our database that we didn't represent very well because they held products that we didn't completely understand. And I think as a financial advisor, I reckon we've got an obligation to understand the strategies that we put in place with our clients. So therefore we came to the conclusion that let's package these clients up and let's give a young advisor like Chris Brown of 5 years ago the opportunity to build on those clients. Since then, I've flipped and I've actually said, what the hell are we doing? You know, these clients are really profitable, so therefore let's hold on to them. And Robbie agreed with that, and I think that was one of the best things I learnt from Robbie. But then I've flipped again, and I've come to the conclusion that if I could get a premium price for it, I would go ahead with the original strategy, which was to offload and then to subsequently buy. So that's where we've come to.
You sound like a bloody nightmare of a client.
I know.
So Chris, how have the experts worked with you?
I think the two biggest learnings that I've had from the specialists that I was introduced to were from Alan Kenyon and Rod Bettino from Business Health. Rod just really sort of questioned about sharing my vision with my family.
Sit down with Rhonda and discuss those plans you've got. For you to be successful, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, and that will undoubtedly impact on not just your business life but your personal life as well.
So after that conversation with Rod, I really went back home, and over a couple of glasses of red on a Friday night, I just said, this is what I'm trying to achieve. What it's going to mean from our point of view is when we actually look at our assets and liabilities, potentially in the next sort of 2 to 3 years, there's going to be a hell of a lot more debt because I want to expand the business and I want to become even more scalable. And I said, are you comfortable with that? And she kind of said, well, not really, because looking at that number, that scares the life out of me. And I said, but that number, what it would mean in the future is that we're able to do this and we're able to spend more time away from the business with the family because we've got the infrastructure in place and we've got the sales team in place to achieve everything that we want to achieve. And after sort of saying that to her, I said, now are you comfortable with that level of debt? She's gone, absolutely. So it was good though, it really sort of fleshed out some issues that might have actually presented themselves in time before we even sort of went down that path. Alan Kenyon was really good because I think Alan Kenyon really challenged me about who we were targeting to buy these clients, and Robbie did exactly the same thing. I was a bit romantic about this. I just had this idea that I wanted to find Chris Brown of 5 years ago and give him the opportunity that I was given. And Alan really sort of said, look, that's nice in theory, but you might need to broaden your horizons.
I think you need both markets. I think depending on the profile of the clients, you could obviously go back to your dealer group. It may add some volume to some other businesses in the dealer group.
And that led me to not talking to a Chris Brown, but talking to a licensee. Because as you know, licensees oversee a rich vein of talent. And I ended up going to my own licensee and talking to the MLC Connect for Growth program, and they actually found those recruits for me and said, look, how about this? we'll buy those clients for you, we'll source the end person, and we'll introduce those clients to that person. And what that meant for me is I didn't have to worry about finance. I didn't have to worry about finding that person because they'd already found that person for me. And it was a nice, seamless process.
So Chris decided to sell. He seems confident it's a done deal, but the mentors aren't done yet, and they don't seem as confident.
You're going to have some money coming in if you sell this parcel, and you're going to have some increased debt.
Yep.
Have you thought very carefully about how you would utilise that money and what you would buy with it?
I'm actually a fair way down the path, Robbie. We've come to a heads of agreement just in terms of the sale of the parcel of clients that we've spoken about. We're almost at the point where we've reached an agreement that that revenue is going to be replaced. So the money that we've gained over here, we're effectively transferring over here to buy clients that fit our model, that come from a systemised approach that we like and all that sort of stuff. So from my point of view, I think it's really going to have a beneficial effect to the bottom line because those clients really are all over the shop, whereas these clients are nice and tight and really fit the FDFL approach.
Yep.
So do I have more money left in my pocket? No. But is the business going to be in better shape in moving forward? I think the answer is yes.
So just let me understand this fully. You're selling a parcel of clients
Yes.
to buy a better parcel of clients in simple terms, but then you're going to borrow some money to buy even more. How much are you going to borrow relative to your present revenue, for example? Is it?
Look, I'd like to double my borrowings. I think when I look at the number,
How much your current borrowings
my
as
current
a percentage
borrowings
of
are
revenue?
$1 million.
Your current borrowing is $1 million.
Yeah.
And you want to borrow $2 million.
All I look at, I suppose, I just look at my business.
And what's your revenue? What's your revenue, for example,
1.2 million.
at the moment?
Yes.
So you got $1 million debt with 1.2 million revenue.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, mate, you want to keep it good with your wife.
Yeah. Look, I look at my business LVR, and my business LVR sits at about 50 to 60%, depending on who you talk to about the valuation of the business.
Valuation, yeah. You've identified this parcel of fees.
I've identified $140,000 worth of revenue.
Right.
And the reason for the growth in revenue, Barry, the main thing that I'm passionate about, and I shared this with you before,
Yeah.
is mentoring young advisors. I love it.
Yep.
And that's what I want to continue to do, but I don't want to do it to the detriment of the business.
So this better parcel of fees you're buying, why is the person selling them?
They look, the person that's selling them are looking to sort of adopt that fewer clients, higher fee sort of model. I'd like to keep walking down the transactional model, so lower fees, more clients, and the clients that they're offloading would fit the transactional model.
Right, so it doesn't suit their profile.
Doesn't suit their profile, it suits ours.
And you can manage that.
Yeah, and we've become pretty scalable. I mean, I don't think it's going to increase the costs within our business demonstrably. This original acquisition, I envisage over time it will, but I think with some of the acquisitions that I'm looking at post this acquisition, there's going to be some good quality talent that will come with it, and that's what I want to tap into as well.
Robbie and Barry want Chris to look into the ramifications of the deal before facing the judges on Judgment Day.
I think you need to check your financial structures, both your legal. Perhaps you should go and see a lawyer to just make sure you're right. And also perhaps because of the debt and that business, you need to have a look at your accounting and to make sure you understand it and make sure you've got profitable growth.
Yeah, I think also to be very helpful, I know you've been dealing with Alan Kenyon before. If you're looking for assets to buy, use someone like him to explore what's available out there to you. Obviously, he's involved with helping find the right businesses there for you. As well as I'd suggest a guy called Paul Barrett. I don't know if you've met Paul over the years, but currently with ANZ. And Paul's been involved with a lot of mergers and acquisitions over the years. I think it'd be very beneficial if you went and had a chat to Paul as well. I'm sure he'd be very happy to have a look and help you. And it's just sort of that extra opinion on it, just to make sure you're protecting that loan that you have to the future, and that'll protect your own rear end from your wife. Yeah. So I think there's some good benefits there for you.
Good call. Look, I think now I'm armed and dangerous. I've sought the best advice possible, and I think I've got a clear vision about what I want to achieve. So therefore, I'm certain that I'm prepared for Judgment Day.
I'm looking forward to Judgment Day with you, Chris, let me tell you, but you've been talking to the right people. It'd be fantastic to see you on that particular day.
Cheers.
As Chris heads off to meet his latest expert, Barry and Robbie discuss how it all went.
Well, Barry, he's an ambitious young man. What do you think?
He's very ambitious. You know, a lot of debt he's going to take on.
Yep.
Admittedly, he seems to have his head on his shoulders okay. So he's making all the right noises. He worried him a bit when he was swapping and changing about his strategy there earlier.
Yeah, well, he's one of these guys that you sort of can anticipate that he'll make it very big, or if it doesn't quite work, he could have a very big fall. But he's smart enough. I just hope he doesn't become impatient. That's a trap for young people sometimes.
He's going to come out on the top sometime, I think.
Oh, he will. He's an ambitious young guy, and even if he makes any mistakes along the way, I'm sure there'll be lessons that he would learn from, and he'll be there one day.
I'm glad we're a bit older than he is, Robbie.
Yeah, I don't want to go through what he's going through in the future, I don't think.